Today we are going to be using a spinner wheel to create my spring TBR. Most months I do a themed TBR. I decided for April I really wanted to do a spinner wheel. Prompt-based TBR videos are so much fun. I feel like it adds a little bit of variety into the reads that you get through the month. So that was my plan for April. I even made such a cute little spinner wheel spread. And then I started looking at my schedule for April and I was like, ooh, babe, this is gonna be tough. I'm traveling basically half of the month. I'll still be reading, but it'll probably mostly be audiobooks that I'm listening to in the car with my mom or stuff that I can get on my Kindle that's kind of light and easy to read when I'm with family. I've decided to put on Do Not Disturb because I don't want these things. So to give myself a little bit of leeway for the travel I'm doing in April, as well as just to allow for some mood reads that I'm in the mood for right now, I'm actually gonna spin for 2 months. So I'm calling it a spring TBR. It's really just like my April, May TBR. I'm gonna spin 12 times to give me basically like 6 books or so per month that are on a set TBR, but also allow room for a mood read or for picking up something on audio while I'm traveling. I did make now another spread, my spring TBR spread, so I can write down the 12 books on the list. I will still use this one. I have cute little wedges to fill in each of these pieces here. Whatever of the books from the TBR I read in April, I'll put on a wedge and fill in. Oh, I lost one. Well, whatever. I'll get it later. Before we start spinning, and also because I need to give my iPad time to charge because I didn't plan ahead very well for this, but that's fine. We're just gonna do like a quick March rundown. I had 10 books on my TBR in March. I did read and or DNF all 10 of them. I built my March TBR around reading books from previous 5-star authors. I'll link that video down below if you wanna go watch it. I was like, this is gonna be my best reading month ever. Joke's on me. Joke's on me, because of the 10 on this list, guess how many were 5 stars? One. And that one was a reread. I did read several additional books that weren't on the TBR, so I'm just gonna go to my reading log rapid fire. The first book, and this was the one that was a reread on the TBR, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Timeless, classic. What do I even say about it? I finished listening to the abridged audio edition of The Return of the King. I also have a separate video that is a Lord of the Rings reading vlog. I will post that in the description. I read A Ghastly Catastrophe, which is the 10th book in the Veronica Speedwell series by Deanna Raybourn, a historical mystery series. This was not the best entry in that series. The mystery was a little weak, so I gave that a 3-star. I listened to This Inevitable Ruin, which is the 7th book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series by Matt Dinneman. Really enjoyed this book. Again, not my favorite in the series, but I really liked it, so I gave that a 4. I read The Singer's Gun by Emily St. John Mandel. I'm trying to catch up on her backlist. I thought it was okay. I gave it a 3.5. I read Reflections on the Psalms by C.S. Lewis. I gave that a 3. Then I needed like a fun, easy read. I needed to get away from my TBR a second, so I just grabbed at the library a random book. I grabbed Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. I loved this book. I wanted to give this book a 5-star, I really did, because my experience with it and the vibes were just so good, but I had some issues with the writing and especially the ending, so I did end up giving it a 4, but I really enjoyed it and I want to read more by her. Back to the TBR, I read Listen to This by Alex Ross, which is a collection of essays on music. I gave that a 4.5. I read Aurora Leigh by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. This is a novel-length poem. Browning was a Victorian poet. Again, gave this a 4.5. I really wanted to give it a 5, but there were parts of this book that were such a slog that I genuinely didn't think I was gonna make it. The next book was also a 4.5. This was again kind of off the TBR, a little detour because I wanted something fun and light. So I read Love in a Cold Climate by Nancy Mitford. This is the follow-up to The Pursuit of Love. It's kind of in that same little interconnected series. Mitford wrote in the kind of mid-early 20th century, and she writes about British aristocracy in the interwar period, but her books are so funny and clever. I really adore them. This was a lot of fun. I read No Beast So Fierce. Oh, it has a really long subtitle. Let me see if I remember. The Terrifying True Story of the Champawat Tiger, the Deadliest Animal in History. Something like that. By Dane Huckelbridge. I gave that book a 4. I'm like obsessed with tigers now. I thought this, I was really so interesting. Then I did a day of rereading childhood favorite books. I have a vlog for that as well. Link it down below. So many places for you to go after this video. Princess Academy is like easy 5-star. I love that book. It's probably on my lifetime favorites list. Haunting of Elizabeth Cray. I loved that book as a teen. Didn't hold up quite as well, so I gave that a 3. I read another book, again, not on the TBR, but it could have been, which is funny because this was a book by a previous 5-star author. I read The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. Catherine Arden wrote the Winter Night trilogy that starts with The Bear and the Nightingale, and that's like a 5-star series for me. And this is also a historical fantasy series. This one's set in World War I. I can't, you know what? I was about to keep talking about it, but I can't. I can't let myself go there because I will talk for like 15 minutes about that book alone. I loved it so much. 5-star, 5-star. The last book that I read in this month was my last book from my TBR. I read a Barbara Kingsolver book. She's my favorite author of all time, and I'm trying to catch up on her backlist, read everything she's ever written. And this year's pick was Flight Behavior. I really liked it. Not my favorite of hers, not my least favorite of hers, so I gave it a 4. Whew. You know, it's hard for me to be succinct. I'm a yapper. It is more difficult for me to like speak shortly and to the point than it is for me to go on and on about something. I feel exhausted. I can't give up yet because we have got a TBR to make. Let's start spinning, baby. That is so stupid. I can't believe I said that. Yikes. I make the rules for this, and I'm gonna play it a little fast and loose. If I roll something or spin something multiple times and I'm like, I don't wanna do this twice, then I'm not gonna do it. It doesn't matter. This is my game. I make the rules, okay? And we're gonna stop yapping. Oh, listen to the sound, and we're gonna spin. Wait. Oh my God. That was so loud. I forgot that you could change the sound on these, and I got a little excited earlier and was like, how funny would it be if I put an air horn on there? And then I actually forgot that I put an air horn on there. From a series, this is fantastic news. I know exactly what I'm gonna pick. This is Words of Radiance. It is the second book in the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. The Stormlight Archive, iconic for being some really long ass books. This book is like 1,100 pages or something. These books are so floppy. I can't get over it. I am reading this book for a vlog. The vlog comes out next Friday, and I am like 1 chapter into this book. I'm gonna have to haul ass a little bit to get it done in time. So I definitely needed it on the TBR because this needs to be high priority for the next like 9 days. This is one of Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere books. It's this large interconnected fantasy universe. It is like high epic fantasy, battles and magic systems and wars and politics and etc. Most importantly for our prompt, it is from a series. So the first book going on the TBR is going to be Words of Radiance. I can breathe easy now. Now we can just have fun. Let's keep going. Is it gonna air horn again? I don't even hear the click. Wait, what happened to the sound? Honestly, you may be happy. You're like, I don't have to listen to the air horn anymore. Okay, we got Libby Hold, which is also fantastic. I think I had thought when I made this prompt that I would unsuspend one of my holds, but I actually had one come in, I think yesterday. I just got a hold in on, I'm gonna have to look to read this title. I always get it wrong. One Day Everyone Will Have Always Been Against This by Omar El Akkad. It's a really popular book right now. It came out last year. I know a lot of people have been talking about it. It talks a lot about current events, world politics, world affairs. And I'm glad to have a Kindle option on the TBR. Refreshing. Our third spin. Yay, the noise is back. Okay, I don't know what happened. Newest on TBR. So the 2 newest books that I got on my TBR, I got in a recent like thrifted book haul. I have Read Until You Understand, The Profound Wisdom of Black Life and Literature by Farah Jasmine Griffin. And I also have Let Your Life Speak, Listening for the Voice of Vocation by Parker J. Palmer. I think just because it's shorter, I think I'm gonna go with this one. A teensy little baby book. An insightful and moving meditation on finding one's true calling, about living authentically. The book's title is A Quaker Tradition. This is gonna be the third book. Yeah, the third book going on the TBR. Spin 4. Let's keep going. Blind library pick. So when I made this prompt, I think I was thinking, oh, it'd be fun to just like go to the library and grab something off the shelf and just go with whatever that is. I thought I would do that during April or May, but actually I went to the library, I think 2 days ago, and I got several books, but there's one specifically that I had never heard of before that I am now really excited about reading. Let me get it. The book is Anima, I guess, Anima Rising by Christopher Moore, and the subtitle is Klimt, Freud, and Jung Meet the Bride of Frankenstein. So this book is set in 1910s Vienna. Gustav Klimt, the painter, pulls the body of a young woman out of the Danube. She ends up being alive, but she's lost her memory, so he takes her to Freud and Jung to help her recover her memories, and it seems like based on what she remembers, she is in fact the bride of Frankenstein, who had been cryogenically frozen like 100 years earlier. I love when people write historical fiction that includes real characters, and from further research on this book, it sounds like he has a very darkly comedic style of writing, and I love dark comedy. I just really, really think that I'm gonna love this book, and I had never ever heard of it before. It was just on the new releases shelf, and I plucked it up and thought, that looks interesting. Like, I didn't even look it up on Storygraph. I just read the description, put it in my bag, and now here we are. A third of the way through, let's keep trucking. I genuinely hope that this is actually in frame when I'm doing this. Title longer than 5 words. I'm gonna have to stand up. My TBR shelf is like up here. The secret wisdom of the earth. Okay, so there's 6. There's 6, but I'm not reading this book right now. I think I have 3 options. I can literally tell you right off the bat which one I'm gonna pick, because these are both really, really chunky, long books that I don't want to read right now. I'm gonna pick A Heart and a Body in the World. This is a reread for me. This was a 5-star read many years ago when I first read it. It is a YA book, which I don't really read anymore, but I remember it not really feeling like YA. This is on my 26 and 26 list. This is a gorgeous book. It's about healing after grief and trauma. Yeah, that's really all I can say about it. I'm actually really, really looking forward to rereading this one. All right, one more spin, and then we will have half of the TBR done. This is fun. This is really fun. Should I change that sound? Thrifted. This prompt might as well have said free pick from your shelves, because almost everything I own is thrifted. But I did decide to go with 1984 by George Orwell. This is actually my husband's book, but I know that it's thrifted, first of all, because like, look at how jank it is. Like, I literally need to wipe off this book, because what is that? But also I was flipping through it, and there is a receipt from McKay's, which is like a used bookstore in North Carolina and Tennessee. And he bought this book for $2.50 in October of 2018. This is another book on my 26 and 26 list. You know, I'm like, I want to read stuff that's like light and breezy and easy the next 2 months. And then I pick stuff about grief or like a dystopian classic. But again, like, I have 2 months to get through this. So surely at some point during the next 2 months, I will have it in me to tackle 1984. Halfway through, the 6th book going on the list is 1984 by George Orwell. Let's keep going. Let's keep plugging along. Libby, wish list, blind, scroll. That's a lot of words, but I know what it means. I have like probably 800 books or something on my Libby wish list. Basically what I'm gonna do is close my eyes and scroll through it and pick whatever I land on. Although man, what if I don't wanna read it? You know what, maybe I'll do like 3. Maybe I'll scroll and I'll land on 3 and then I'll pick the 1. Let's just go for it. Available now. This is gonna take a while. Give me a second, please. I'll look at you, so you know that I'm not cheating. I'll go up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit more, and stop. The View from Penthouse B. Okay, I'm just gonna do it 3 times and then we'll review the choices. And stop. Kashil's Dart. I've had these books on my list so long. Let's go to something a little more recent. What? Ooh. Okay, I think I know what I want to do. The View from Penthouse B by Eleanor Lipman. 2 sisters recover from widowhood, divorce, and Bernie Madoff as unexpected roommates in a Manhattan apartment in this humorous novel. Kind of sounds like contemporary women's fiction, which I don't really read. Kushil's Dart. Lush epic fantasy. I feel like that means long. I don't need another epic fantasy right now, if I'm being honest. Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao. I know a lot of people have talked about this book and have not liked it. I feel like in general what I've heard people mostly say is that they love the vibe and the atmosphere, but the story itself is kind of so-so. But I love a book with great atmosphere. I might enjoy it. I'm willing to give it a shot at least. Okay, we're definitely gonna go with Water Moon for the blind Libby wish list scroll prompt. Did I say that right? That's a lot of words that I just said. I'm gonna go ahead and borrow it. Back to the spinner. Gosh, 12 is a lot actually. We're spending a lot of times. But this is for 2 months. I need options. A book about books. I love books about books. All of the books about books that I have are nonfiction. I talked about this book earlier, Read Until You Understand. I could do On Writing by Stephen King, but the one I think I'm gonna go with is Living by Fiction by Annie Dillard. This is written for and dedicated to people who love literature. She shows why fiction matters and how it can reveal more of the modern world and modern thinking than all the academic sciences combined. I think this will be fun. It's also a little shorty. You know, I need some balance to Words of Radiance. The more short books I can get on here, I think the better we're gonna be. Now we're moving. We're moving again. We're going. 4 more spins. Under 100 pages. The wheel said, you want short books? I'll give you a short book. I think I only have one book that fits this prompt. Wow, we're ending up with a lot of like kind of short but serious nonfiction. It's not that big of a deal, like if that's the bulk of the TBR, so then that means that for my fiction reads, I can just kind of do whatever I want. I do have A Grief Observed by C.S. Lewis. It is like 75 pages. Very short. I think this is a little bit memoir, a little bit theology about grief after he lost his wife. So we'll probably be quite sad, but again, at least it's only 75 pages. So I think I can handle that. Wait, I started spinning before I pressed record. Okay, there's too many buttons. There's too many things to press. It's getting crazy here. A red-orange cover. You know, one day everyone will have always been against this would have been perfect, but I think we have some other good options. But I do have a book actually that has both on it, as well as some green. It's a library book, Where There Was Fire by John Manuel Arias. This is set in Costa Rica. I think it's like a dual timeline. The ways in which agribusiness and international exploitation are entwined with one family's fate. Cheery. Peppy. I don't think I've gotten any poetry on the TBR yet, so I could put on Hair on Fire, Afghan Women Poets. I'm probably not gonna pick this because I already have a lot of nonfiction on the TBR, Talking to Girls About Duran Duran by Rob Sheffield. And then the last option, also quite orange, or kind of salmon-y, but we'll call it orange, The Heart in Winter by Kevin Barry. Despite the fact that it literally says winter on the cover, and I think it is set during a hard winter in 1891. So it would seem like this book should be read in winter. I meant to read it this past winter, did I? Absolutely not. This book is kind of already tentatively on the chopping block. I might do a read or unhaul TBR, and this is one for sure that would go on there. So I'm feeling like might as well just go ahead and get out ahead of it and put this on the TBR. 2 more spins. The stack is getting big over here. I actually don't know where I'm gonna keep all of these, but we'll figure that out. Blind library pick. Nope, I already got that. Respinning. See, I told you. I'm like, I want variety on the TBR, and I already did 2 blind picks, so. A reread. I was about to say, no, I'm not doing that either because I already have a reread on the TBR. I am tempted to leave this one open and just say that I could fill it with any reread, obviously in addition to A Heart in the Body and the World. This is another book, a reread that I put on my 26 and 26. So this would probably be my highest priority one, to Tell the Wolves I'm Home. This is kind of, I guess it is historical fiction. It's set in the late 80s. It's about a family during the AIDS crisis. But if I wanted something lighter, so that's gonna be my official pick. But if I do decide later that I kind of want something light and easy, maybe I wanna reread a romance or something, my reread shelf is right up here. I'm talking as you're just like looking at my butt. I could do Dear Emmy Blue, Love Lettering, Ghosts. So officially we're gonna put Tell the Wolves I'm Home, but I have a lot of options. Last spin, we're already at the last spin. This has been so much fun. What's it gonna be? I hope it's a good one. Be a good one. Animal in the title. You know what I could do? I could just shift over Tell the Wolves I'm Home. I also could read To Kill a Mockingbird, because that's another book on my 26 and 26 that I have never read. I know that's kind of horrifying, isn't it? Those are the only 2 that are on my physical TBR. You know what? Oh, wait, I can't read that. We're going for it. It's time for the embarrassment to end. It's time for me to no longer have to say, yes, I'm a huge reader, but no, I in fact have never read To Kill a Mockingbird. So this is gonna go on the TBR. Here's the TBR, plus one day everyone will have always been against this. And struggle, I'm struggling. And Water Moon. Okay, Those were the words that I needed to get out. A good chunk of books coming off my physical TBR as well as my 26 and 26 list. Okay, I'm gonna have to put this down because my arms are shaking. This spring TBR is set. I am looking forward to reading hopefully some really fabulous books over the next 2 months. There we have it. Let me go back to this page so you can see the wheel. Wow. The wheel. It's like the claw. The wheel. I'm getting loopy. I should probably stop recording. I think I'm losing my mind. I'm going insane. I'm excited to see how I like this like prompt-based TBR as opposed to my normal way of just picking a theme and then choosing books based on that. I hope that I have 2 very good reading months. March didn't quite go as expected, but that's all right. We soldier on. Let me know if you want to see more of these like prompt-based TBR type videos. Like I said, I had fun making it. I could be talked into doing it again if you guys like it as well. Anyway, see y'all next time. Bye.